I want to read something very interesting. Now, I've spoken numerous times. I've got at least 2 or 3 videos. It's the same video, literally, practically, about the cycles of government. It's been going on forever. Thousands of years, hundreds of years. Why would it change now? The cycle from democracy to communism to anarchy to all these oligarchy, king and queen cycles. Just happens over and over again. And you can see where our socialistic leader and leaders are taking us. This cycle is moving. But someone titled this post, which it's more or less a blog entry or something, I'm not sure. Obama's from yesterday, right? The State of the Union speech, basically predicted 50 years ago by a man named Khrushchev. Nikita Khrushchev was a brilliant strategist. As the leader of the Soviet Union until his deposition in 1964, he understood politics, economics, and human nature intimately. So he must have known all about these cycles. Few today would agree with his leadership style or his political perspective, but his uncanny ability to predict the long-term result of a strategy was unprecedented. It was this foresight which led him to state, quote, "You Americans are so gullible. We don't have to invade you. We will destroy you from within without firing a shot. We won't have to fight you. We'll so weaken your economy until you fall like overripe fruit into our hands." He said that in 1954. Time and time again, Khrushchev called it right. Over 50 years ago, stand by. Cat in the... Can't have cat in the newsroom. Cannot have cat in the newsroom. No cats in the newsroom. Okay. Where was I? Over 50 years ago, he foresaw the America we love slipping silently through our fingers. He saw the inability of the American people to stop the decline, and he knew we would wake up too late to do so. He didn't live long enough to see his predictions come to pass, but he knew. He knew then that we would not understand until it was too late. Right? We're always reactionary. Something happens, now I got to deal with it. It's already happening now, but it hasn't quite affected you. Therefore, it didn't really happen to you in your mind because you don't know it's there, even though it is there. But when it happens, like when the big collapse happens and the 401k goes bye-bye and your retirement goes bye-bye, that's when you're going to do something, which is kind of a shame. I'm being proactive, trying to do YouTube videos, wake people up, and I've reached quite a few people. And the one thing that can protect you from all this is gold and silver. Keep it. It will shine very brightly when all this goes down. You will be very happy that you chose that path. Because you can say, matter of fact, what did I read today? They were talking about, where they say, well, you know, any legitimate trader or financial advisor, economist, and anybody that tells you about savings and how much should you put into different, things out there, the market and gold and silver, you should always put 7% into gold. And he says, not paper gold, physical gold. He says, however, there's another saying that it really should be 10%. And he says that saying is that you should put 10% in gold and the rest of it wherever else in the markets, but hope to God that your 10% investment doesn't do phenomenally well, because that means the other one has went down the toilet and it's going to be bad news for the world. We're heading there. So back to this. He says, we cannot expect the Americans to jump from capitalism to communism but we can assist their elected leaders in giving Americans small doses, changing little things here and there of socialism until they suddenly awake to find they have communism. So, kind of reminds me, what was that at? Someone's talking about Obama, his new taxation plan he has. Yes, I did say taxation, according to the man that said no one under $250,000 a year will get any kind of tax increases. So this guy says, this guy, Obama, is unbelievable. Let's just say it. He's robbing whites. Now here, I'm going to have to change this, but he says he's robbing whites who have been saving for their kids so that they can go to college, school. He's paying, with that money he's taking, for blacks to go to community college. Because we just heard about free community college, that's what we need. Well, that's for poor people. So that's what I got to change. It's not whites being taken so the blacks. It's simply middle class being taken advantage for the lower class. And again, transfer of wealth, low people on the totem pole, etc., the lesser income earners, the lower part of society, you guys will just suck off the government. You'll get your free health care, you'll get your Medicaid, you'll get free college, you get all these things off of the middle class's back. That's really what he's saying here. Why he's strictly making it white and black, this is some guy's comment. Different website, not the same thing, but it's important that I read this to you. So he says he's the biggest and most blatant communist in American politics. Ever. But maybe Americans deserve it. That's what you get when you vote for a guy like this and you vote to keep his party in power. That's what you get when you let the propaganda machine fill you with false, undeserved white guilt. Maybe there can be a John Galt moment, but I'm not too confident. So he says, he posts the details of what he's talking about. Under Obama's plan, the new plan he has, earnings under Section 529 or 529, named for its location in the IRS code, college savings plan, will face full income taxation upon withdrawal. Under current law, earnings growth in that 529 plan is tax-free if the account distributions are used to pay for college tuition and fees. That's how it's been. The Obama plan will tax these earnings on these accounts even if they are used to pay for college tuition and fees. These accounts are commonly used by middle-class families. There are about 12 million or so of these 529 accounts open today, and they have an average account balance of approximately $21,000. Most 529 plans permit monthly contribution as low as $25 per month. The middle-class income tax increase is a very clear violation of President Obama's firm pledge against any form of tax increase on any family making less than $250,000 a year. This promise to the American people is documented below. Speaking in Dover, New Hampshire on September 12, 2008, candidate Obama said, and I quote, "I can make a firm pledge. Under my plan, no family making less than $250,000 a year will see any form of tax increase. Not your income tax, not your payroll tax, not your capital gains tax, not any of your taxes." End quote. Okay, so not your income tax. Oh, wait, you don't have health care? Got to pay half to your income tax, fine. Oh, what's that? You got a college tuition fund you've been putting in, this 529, Section 529? You're pulling it out now to give to your kid. You got $21,000 in there approximately? Yeah, well, now that just got taxed to the full force. Now you have a lot less than that. Why? We got to pay for the other people to have free community college. So you're going to take the burden that I had to deal with all these years of finding extra money to put into this special college fund for years and years and years so that when my kid gets older, they've got the funds to go to college. Now you're telling me we changed the rules at the last minute You're now going to be taxed on it. And we're going to give, through you and every other sucker that signed up for these plans, we're going to give that taxation money directly to poor families who can't afford college. And we're going to, again, transfer of wealth. You know, I got to go back to Lindsey Williams for the millionth time. Excuse me. He said it. The middle class will be wiped out when they're done with you. When the elite are done with you in America, you will have the rich and the poor. There's not going to be a middle. That's what he said their plan was. And by God, it looks like it's moving right along. He's already got the IRS income tax fee, fine, whatever you want to call it, if you don't buy health care. So now I am forced to buy a product from a privately owned corporation, whether I need it or not. Okay? And you're going to have, as I mentioned a bunch of times, deductibles, other fees. Oh, you got to spend $3,000 first before you can have the insurance kick in to pay the rest of the bill per year. Okay? Most of the time, that kind of money is not spent when you go to the doctor. So, essentially, I'll be paying my own bill every time I go to the doctor all year long. And I'll be paying you God knows how many hundreds of dollars a month, if not over $1,000 for my family a month, just to have this thing called insurance that doesn't pay when I need it unless I have some kind of catastrophic problem in the tens of thousands of dollars. Then and only then is it worth it. Okay. So that's a lie. Taxation through the healthcare law. We now have this. People who saved money away for their kids, now you're going to get taxed on that when you withdraw it to use it. Now you know why they hired those 16,000 additional IRS personnel a few years back. And we all wondered, why are nothing's happening, nothing's changed, like no new laws, no new anything. Why are they hiring all these people? Because they knew they'd be passing the Obamacare, affordable. And that's nothing. Let me just kind of change subject a tiny bit. You know how I always mention, they give these sick laws that they want to pass the most opposite name you could think of. That sounds great. The Affordable Care Act. You have the word affordable. You have the word care, caring, care, act. This is an act to change things so that healthcare is affordable. That's what that name says. And rates have skyrocketed. The only people who might say that they benefit, again, are the lower class people who are far and few between the rest of us. That's a very small percentage of the American population. They're the ones that say, well, I signed up and I qualified basically for subsidies. So my whole family gets health care for $500 a month. It sounds good to me. Okay, well, when you do your taxes at the end of the year, how much is your family income? Oh, it's under $30,000. Well, probably because you fudge numbers to get it that low, or you literally are that poor, etc. Low income, whatever you want to call it, and that's just what it is. Therefore, you do qualify. But again, I'm not speaking to 1 out of 10 people. I'm speaking to the 9 out of 10 people. That's the rest of us. So back in another one, the Patriot Act, 9/11. Patriot Act. Sounds patriotic. Been nothing but unpatriotic, spying on American citizens, using the IRS, again, Lois Lerner, to go after certain party groups. If you're related to a party, the IRS is going after you. We don't have the emails. Yes, you do have the emails. We didn't have the emails. We found the emails. All this corruption. Go back to the saving